All right, guys, with Mike Rutenberg in play, the Browns, as Tyvis mentioned, may be looking a little more closely at Caleb Downs at number 6. Rutenberg has had a terrific track record of developing defensive backs and safeties. Xavier Watts made the All-Pro team as a third-round rookie this year for the Atlanta Falcons under Rutenberg's tutelage. If you look at Caleb Downs, his resume is incredibly impressive. He's the number 1 defensive back prospect in the 2026 class. That is consensus across the board, regardless of which draft expert you prefer to look at. He was a 2025 Jim Thorpe and Lott Trophy winner. He's a 3-time All-American. He's a Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. He won the national championship with the Buckeyes.
Go Bucks!
In 2024. Ty, I'll start with you as the former Buckeye safety yourself. A, what makes Downs such a special, unique prospect? And 2, with all the holes on the offense the Browns have, no offensive lineman under contract, one, and for being generous, one receiver, not including a tight end in Harold Fannin. Question marks all around the board. Could they afford to use the number 6 pick on a safety if they do believe Caleb Downs is a special one-of-one kind of player?
Could they do it? Absolutely. Should they do it? I don't know. But I tell you this, Caleb Downs probably is the best defensive player in this draft. You know, if you go around and you ask a bunch of people, I think that you would say, yeah, he is the number 1 for sure, guaranteed to hit prospect. And I think it's funny because if you get Caleb Downs, right, like I understand Ronnie Hickman is a restricted free agent. By the way, thoughts out to him. I don't know what you got going on in New York and whatnot. We got to get him some friends to be around him to throw some bows and stuff when people try to jump you. But that's a whole nother story for another day. If you're going to keep Ronnie Hickman, right, or if you're going to move on from Ronnie Hickman, my problem is the Grant Delpit aspect because Caleb Downs to me is too good of a safety to just put in the post. Like I'm not, and we're going to play this one high look.
There you go.
I'm not putting number 2 in the post and that's it. That's not his, he's
go.
fine. Trust me. He'll make a bunch of plays there,
go.
but you're diminishing exactly the type of player he could be. He needs to be in the box around the ball. That dude understands the game. He's like a smaller version of a Kyle Hamilton or Nicky Manwari. Like that type of, that's what he is. You got to utilize him like that. The dude plays multiple positions. He says he's a safety, but he can play linebacker, all of these things, and he's so smart. If you're only going to take Caleb Downs and put him in the post, then to me that I would draft Carnell Tate or whoever you want to take outside of that because that's not what you're supposed to do with him. But if you're a guy who's creative, like if you're going to use him as a nickel role and all of those things, sure, he'll absolutely be a huge asset to that defense, and you'll be strengthening up something that one of your strengths already. I do think we have bigger fish to fry when it comes to receiver and lineman, but if they took Caleb Downs, it's not the end of the world to me because you're getting the best defensive player in the draft. And that's not putting my biases in it. That's an unbiased opinion.
Gee, man, look, so let me start off by saying I agree with Tyvis in terms of what Caleb Downs is. Caleb Downs is a monster. I want y'all to get this straight. I want y'all to get this together. I need you to understand what I'm saying about him. He's athletic. He loves football. He's instinctual. He's a great tackler. He watches film. His awareness is crazy. He understands where the ball is going. He's a leader. He's as good as they come at safety. Is good. And by the way, you just need to know, if you got the number 2 at Ohio State, you're pretty good. Malcolm Jenkins, Mike Doss, Caleb Downs. If you catch that number 2, you pretty good. So for me, if you a team that is in a luxury mode where you looking to solidify your defense and you got Caleb Downs, I would have no problem with you taking him anywhere within even as high as the number 4 pick. Now, traditionally, safeties don't go that high. Sean Taylor went 5. Ed Reed went in the 20s. Troy Polamalu, I believe, went 12 to 14. Ronnie Lott was in the first round, but nowhere near the top 10. So for me, you look at it, you got to find the value in it. So a team that needs a piece that's a piece away, I think he can just plug and play, and he's going to be a monster. The problem is, Tyvis pointed out the redundancy. They did play Grant Delpit, and a lot of people say that Caleb Downs has tremendously more upside than what Grant Delpit even has. But the problem is, I can't draft him at number 6 and then have him playing in the parking lot the way they did with Peppers. I remember we drafted Peppers in the first round, and we was like, yeah, we gonna get a punt returner, we gonna get a guy that could protect Jaleel Peppers. We about to, and they had him. Greg Williams had him playing the post safety, dropping back into coverage. You get like, what are we doing with this? This cannot happen with him because you got a position right now. Andrew Berry just talked about it. He said it when he was talking to Nathan Kinziguro. He said in 2020, when we got here, our whole focus was to put guys around Baker Mayfield and get this offense together. The defense was lacking. Anybody had eyes knew that our defense was trash, and it was paper mache back there. He said, I think we are in a position now where everybody knows what we need. Everybody understands that the offensive side is the priority. I would love to take Caleb Downs. There's a great Bailey. I would like to take Ruben Bain. I love all those guys. Arvell Reese is great.
Go Bucks.
But I cannot take a defensive player over Cardinal Tate or Jordan Tyson. I just can't do it. If you're in a position to take a premium guy that's going to make your offense jump and just put him in, you're better. Just start him, he's better. I can't look at a defensive player that early. Now, if you want to convince me later in the draft, like if you really want to convince me about the second pick, but I still need linemen too. I just can't go in with the deficiencies, Jason, and take, even though he's a tremendous player, I can't justify it.
Ultimately, it really comes down to free agency. If they make some moves and some trades at, a line or a receiver or something like that, and then it opens up the conversation of taking the best player available at the spot. But right now, given the current state of where we're sitting, it's hard to do that.
So the first thing I thought of when I read the question, I don't know why my mind went here. My mind went to 2001 and Ed Reed. And that year, 2002.
Yeah.
Reed was drafted in 2002. The 2001 season, the Browns were 7-9, and they were 3 years into existence. They were trying to put the wheels on this thing. They felt like they were going the right direction. They had the worst running game in the NFL. I went back and looked. Dead last in the league in rushing yards. Their two leading rushers were James Jackson and Jamel White, and together they did not combine for 1,000 yards. It was dreadful. So what did they do in the 2002 draft? They drafted William Green. It made perfect sense. They filled a need. They filled a need. They got the number one running back on the board in that draft. Who would you rather have today as a Cleveland Brown, William Green or Ed Reed?
Eduardo.
It's not even close. It ain't even close.
Reed.
So that's why, like, this team needs talent. Period. Yes, ideally on the offensive side of the ball, of course. I was screaming that last year. You have to take offense. So for Andrew Berry to sit down now and say, everybody knows where our focus is, it should have been the focus last year too. I mean, you had a horrendous offense last year. What did I say all year? What did they do? They had a horrible offense last year, and they spent their top 2 picks on defensive players. So why can't they do? What's to say they're not going to do it again?
That's the suicide.
If it is a generational player,
well, he did. He wasn't on record.
If you think,
last year he wasn't on record saying.
All right. Well, he also sang the praises of Travis Hunter as being a generational player, and then they traded out of it. They said they're going to carry 4 quarterbacks until he did. Like, you can't pay attention to anything you say. But if you think Caleb Downs is a generational player, how do you pass on him? Regardless of what else you have. Because that's how you wind up. That's how you wind up with William Green instead of Ed Reed.
You remember the conversation you just asked me about when we look at the nickel position, because it's a very important position. You just asked me, who would you?
Yeah. Yeah. So and
here's why.
You can put him, Ronnie, and Grant. That's not bad.
This is suicide. Here's the reason why. If you look at what the Cleveland Browns have defensively, they're pretty good now. You draft Caleb Downs, say they even get better. How many points a game they give up? What?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Where were they in points giving up?
18, 20, 14?
Yeah, they were middle of the pack in points allowed. We'll pull it up real quick. But they were 14th exactly.
So you know, let's look at that 14. Say they drop that down. They in the top 5. They didn't get Caleb Downs. They in the top 5. Right? Mason Graham looking good. Carson Sweatshirts are still nice. Everything good.
Tell me JOK came back.
Bring him on back.
Oh,
if we
man.
gonna get Dungeons and Dragons, 85 Bears. Let's go ahead and bring everybody back. Everybody let the party keep cooking. The problem you got is
Can't score no points.
when them points don't get to scoring, they gonna turn around and look at Andrew Berry and say, "Hold on, Andrew, you said that Kevin Stefanski was the problem. Remember? You didn't get Kevin Stefanski no weapons and he got fired. You said that you had a defense that was ready to go. Your defense is better, but the problem is you ain't been able to score no points in about 4 years now. Let's look at your receivers. You drafted Anthony Schwartz and David Bell and Cedric Tillman. What do you got to show
They
for
still
it?
got another one at 24.
And your line game is terrible. If he drafts Caleb Downs and they don't make the playoffs, not only if they don't make the playoffs, if they don't make the playoffs and the offense don't look good, he's already signing his note right then. Because they going to tell you, Jimmy said it wasn't good enough to have 5 wins. He also said they should get more out of the offense. You also brought in Todd Monken, who was an offensive coach, just to go Mason Graham, Caleb Downs.
So let me ask you this.
Rap.
All right, let me ask you this. Let's play devil's advocate. What's the boy from Green Bay, the left tackle that's free agent?
Rasheed Walker.
Let's go with Rasheed. Let's say they sign Rasheed Walker. Right?
Cash him out. All right, go ahead.
Stop with that. Let's say they get him, and let's say they pick up a free agent like Christian Kirk, wide receiver Christian Kirk. Would you feel a little? And then at 24, they gonna take, because the 3-headed monsters is gone. We know.
They all.
Tyson Tate and Mekhi Lemon is gone. So you got what's our other dude that we like?
Casey
Concepcion. Let's say they get him or Denzel Boston, because everybody just for some odd reason think he's great. What if they take him at 24? Would you be okay with them taking Caleb at 6? Let's say they made them moves in the free agency. They signed Rasheed Walker and Christian Kirk, because I don't think he's gonna be expensive like that.
So
and now with 6, would you be comfortable with them taking Caleb if you know at 24 they're gonna take a receiver?
I would be comfortable. I would see your offer, but they would have to give me one more offensive lineman. I need
second
2.
round.
No. I need a veteran now.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not going to be able to, if I can't get the top of the food chain, I need 2 veteran starters. Mm-hmm. If you gave me 2 veteran starters,
but that's not fair, because even if you take a receiver, if they take Tate at 6 and a dude at 20, like that still ain't.
But that's a premium.
Oh,
I know what I could get from Cardinal Tate today.
The only way I'm advocating Downs is he can't just be the best defensive player in the draft. That's not good enough. He has to. You have to believe as an organization, this is a generational player. He's going to Canton one day. He has that type of potential. He has that type of I'm not sitting here saying they need to take a safety. It's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you believe, it goes back to the quarterback thing that I said last year. I'm paying you for your evaluation. I don't care what anybody else says. I want to know what you think. And if you're telling me this dude is a generational player who is a game changer, who's going to swing games like Troy Polamalu would, like Ed Reed would, if you're telling me that's that type of player, I want that type of player on my team. I don't care about what else we do or we don't have, because this team needs talent.
If you was to put your eggs in one basket on yes he will be or no he won't be, what would you say? If you was making the decision.
If I was making the decision, well, thank God I'm not an NFL talent.
Because they're paying you for your decision.
Well,
what is your decision?
I'm stealing their money, and I'm going to go lay on the beach when they fire me.
To Jason's point real quick, and we talked about this with Mason Graham last year, defensive tackles typically don't go that high.
No.
Mason was only the 5th defensive tackle drafted in the top 5 in the last 15 years. Safeties that go as high as number 6
Jamal
are even
Adams.
more rare than defensive tackles that go 5.
It's Sean Taylor. I think it's only Sean Taylor.
No, Jamal Adams did. He went like 4th or 3rd.
Jamal Adams went 6 in 2017.
6.
Eric Berry went 5th in 2010. And Sean Taylor went 5th in 2004. Since the turn of the 21st century, those are the only 3 safeties drafted in the top 6 or higher. The highest drafted safety ever. Do you guys know who that is?
Tyvis Powell.
And I'll give you a hint. I'm not asking because it's random. It has a tie back to Cleveland.
Charles Wilson.
Before I was born.
Don Rodgers?
No.
Before you was born. Well, if it was before
In
you.
'91, the Browns took a safety second overall.
Oh, Eric
Turner?
Wright. Eric Turner.
Eric Turner.
Yeah, Eric Turner.
He's the highest drafted safety ever. So, historically speaking,
and he was good.
Downs, if he's taken with the 6th pick by the Browns, would just be the 4th safety in the 21st century taken that high. And to Jason's point, if you are going to go against the odds of taking a non-premium position at that rate, you better get a generationally good player. You can't just be good.
Right. That's
Great is even the layer. He has to be incredible.
If you're telling me Caleb Downs is the best defensive player in the draft, okay, cool. Well, what else is there? Because this team needs a whole lot on offense. If you're telling me he is generational and they will be making a bust of him one day, if you believe that strongly, then you have to have that conversation. I don't see how you don't.
The conversation will need to be
be-
had. The conversation
good.
will need to be had because, you just have to do the due diligence. But if you get him, he must be, I'm not even generational. You might want to just tell people that we're trying to be the 2001 Ravens.
The 85 Bears.
Yeah, 85. Like you have to come
Purple
out.
People Eaters.
Yeah, you have to come out and say you guys aren't going to score on us. Like, and we're going to tell you we're going to draft him. We'll find some other guys, but you're not going to beat us like on offense.
We're gonna run the ball. Kenneth Walker not getting franchise tag in Seattle, so there you go.
There are
He on the market?
there are plenty of avenues to find talent, right? The Browns
Yes.
just don't seem to ever be able to figure it out. But there is free agency. There is a second first-round pick. There is a high second-round pick. I mean, look at what they found with Schlesinger in the second round. Nobody ever saw that coming. When we were sitting here having these shows a year ago, nobody ever mentioned his name.
At all.
So there are plenty of different places to find value and talent besides. I mean, honestly, you said, what would I do at 6? If I'm being totally honest, I'd probably trade down.
If I could get the trade down,
That's
I would
probably
too.
what I would do.
And then what?
And then, see, here's the problem.
No, you trade down to how far you
Well,
willing
that's
to
a
go.
conversation you have to have because usually with trade downs, and the Browns bucked this last year. The last year was the anomaly. It wasn't the norm. To have a team come up and give up as much as they gave up in a non-quarterback year when you weren't trying to get a quarterback, I said it the night of our draft show, the Browns knocked that trade out of the park. It was a phenomenal move to get the value that they got for 2 because Jacksonville wasn't coming up to get a quarterback. Well, you're in the same spot now. You're at 6, not 2, so there's less value there. And it's not a quarterback, more than likely, that a team is coming up to get.
But what about Caleb
that's
Downs?
going to hurt the value.
If Caleb Downs,
if a team
That's
can
not
view
true,
Caleb
'cause if Ty
Downs,
Simpson go out there and light it up, so they might fall in love.
you might be right. That's why I said right now, as we sit here, it's probably not a quarterback. But it's February 17th. We haven't been to the combine yet.
Combine next week.
Yeah. So my gut reaction, my initial reaction right now is because this team needs so much talent and there are so many needs, I would trade down from 6, try and acquire another one for next year. Depending on how far down you have to go to do that. I'm just like, ideally, I would probably try and trade down.
I was, for me, Tyvis, I gotta, in my heart of hearts, I gotta come away with either 1 of 4 players. I gotta either have Lemon, Tate, Tyson, or Malinoga. That's it. I gotta have one of them. If if you were sitting at 6, they're there. You can get any one of them at 6.
We said the same last year. It was we needed to come away. If you got the number 2 pick,
That's crazy.
It was Carter, Hunter, and probably Shador.
And he was still in the mix.
And Mark Cam, because at that time we wasn't 100%.
The debate was Carter or Hunter.
Yeah.
Like that was the debate we had.
And we
I could
walked
go back
away
and we
with
could look at
neither one of them.
Or a quarterback of choice.
Right.
So you sitting here saying what you said.
I got to have it though.
They ain't gonna have neither one of them.
No. Hey, listen, I'm the same dude because Jason was saying that, and last year I was over here crying. I was over here
They
crying.
better not take Mason Graham.
They bet
With
not
the
do it.
5th pick.
Man, I was hurt.
Mason Graham.
I was hurt, bro. I was seriously hurt. And now you coming back, and you know we need. This is the problem. This is the problem. With drafting a defensive player feels good. It's just like cheating on your diet. Hey, that chocolate cake, that first bite tastes so good, and then halfway through you like, I don't know why I just did this. I done ruined my whole diet for this little piece of cake, and it ain't even that good. A defensive player is cool when you draft them and you start thinking about it. But the second they get out there and whoever behind center, Shador drop back 3rd and 17 and Jerry Jeudy drop a dime, you going to feel sick to your stomach because you going to say, it could be Cardell Tate. It could be Tate out here.
It only will hurt if they don't get one of them, and they could have, and they light it up. Like that's when it's like bad.
Yeah, because
like a lot of people wasn't really mad off the Travis Hunter thing
because he got hurt. But I need something. I gotta have one of them. Yeah, we'll see.
It's more likely that they probably go. Why you to put it out there in the atmosphere? And every time you do,
every time I get shut up.